Right now, we have another young Indian with us, Voice of the Young segment. Hello, everyone. Good to be back. Right now, we have with us Sunanda Day. Let's listen to her. Over to you, Sunanda.
Thank you so much, Subodh sir, for giving me this amazing opportunity to speak in your platform. I have been listening to the voice of young minds for a pretty long time, and honestly a delight to be here and speak about myself, my background, and where I'm coming from. So, to begin with, I'm a student of economics, and it goes back a very long time. So I come from Guwahati, Assam. So where a lot of influence is given to pursue, if you are very good at maths and science. So the inclination is you should pursue science and go into medical or engineering. So I was a pretty decent student, and that is how I ended up in science. But I was not inclined to pursue medical science or engineering, either of these. And so coming from a family of doctors and engineers, I was told that I don't have the aptitude for either of that. So I should choose something that helps me think, or also helps in a way where I was also fond of humanities, although in pure science we were not given much exposure during my time to study those humanities subject, but a structure which helps me, build an interest of thinking, and also a foundation of mathematics, since I had physics, chemistry, maths back in school. So the obvious choice that was given to me was economics with statistics and mathematics as past courses. So I enrolled in BSc economics from Guwahati University. So there we have a couple of very good colleges. One is Handy Girls College, which is very old, and I pursued my bachelor's in economics there. And initially, I was really hesitant that if the subject would really suit me, or what if I don't understand, because I never studied economics at the very first place. And what economics are taught in 10th, 9th, and 10th grade are very basics. And so I really didn't understand how I would cope up with it. So I remember the initial first 2, 3 classes, I would really stand blank because they would teach us micro and macro, and I would really not able to relate. And there were a lot of difference in terminologies coming from science to physics and chemistry, which are very lab-based course, to something which doesn't have really practical courses, but were very intense maths and intense thinking. So yeah, the initial first semester was really tough for me. I had to really struggle to understand, but then I really love the subject, and I think the best decision of my life was to pursue this
Okay.
ecostats math. So that has been a blessing, I would say. And so after my completion of my undergraduation, I was really confused to what to do and what not to do. And in back in Assam, we have a very little exposure to what a subject can lead you to, where it can potentially take you to. I always had the assumption and the belief that economics and subject had a potential of taking you far, or it has the diversity of the subject was immense. No other humanities subject really had the potential of such vibrance and dynamics. So I believed in that. So what really amazed me was around my final semester, so there was this researcher from London School of Economics who was doing her PhD in. So she came here in Assam to collect her data. So she wanted to collect data, and she wanted to take some research assistant to help her in in doing her work, to help in designing some survey instrument, and how to implement data-based economics. So there was a poster near my head of the department's office that there is this person who is visiting campus and she needs some help for her PhD work. So anybody who is willing to participate can send their name. So that is when I gave my name, and that is when I came to the world of behavioral economics, and that is when I was introduced to the potentialities of economics. So what really happened was I worked with this researcher, this student from LSC, while she was doing her final year paper. So she was working on RCTs. Even before RCT was, was a tool that was really used. It was much, I think 2016, 17, because that was the time. So I didn't really have much idea of what was happening. But when I spoke to her, I realized that whatever she was saying, this treatment, control group, these are the things that are taught in our stats class. These are the things we really understand in our econometrics class. So I could relate to what was happening, even though I didn't have a background of survey methodologies or research methodologies that way. But that was something very interesting. I found it really, really interesting. So one thing led to the another, and then after working with her briefly, so I decided that okay, I will do my master's in economics, and I didn't want to study in Assam, Guwahati, because I felt that the exposure would be very limited, and I will not have very choices to make post my masters, whether to do a job or whether to get into any academia. And the exposure, the horn for exposure wanted pushed me to pursue masters. So then again, during my masters, I pursued my masters from Amity University, Kolkata. So then again, the exposure to go out from India abroad, these concepts are very limited, and there is a very information asymmetry that happens in the North India and Northeast India. So I enrolled in my master's batch, and the cohort was really small. It was a batch of 10 students pursuing MSc Economics. So it was really amazing because our professors were from D school and they were from JNU. So the way they taught economics was slightly different how it was taught back in my state, in Assam. So that was again very interesting because that was a lot of even more mathematical applications and was way more intense with econometrics, with data, and econometrics with statistical analysis through computers and all of that. So that gave me a confidence that okay, now this subject I can help me choose between going to banks or policy think tanks or pursue research. So this was the journey, but I completed my master's in 2020, and then it was COVID, so it was a very difficult job market. But I got placed and ended in a equities firm. Although it was a very lucrative to hear that it's an Indian equities market, so a job, but I really didn't like working there, and I felt that it's a very intense job, and my own thoughts and what I want to do with the subject gets very limited. The exposure is very limited through equities. Some people might really enjoy it, and but I really didn't enjoy it. I felt it was a very monotonous a way of doing things at a stretch. So that is when I joined LEAD. There I have been working as a research associate, and I have really liked the work because the work is an intersection of economics and public policy. So how data-driven research can really push one to become a better policy maker, design policies, or help in implementation of understand the gaps implementing policies. So all of these has really helped me focus into the areas where I feel that earlier my understanding was pretty limited, but now through the work and experience and meeting people through diverse backgrounds has really helped me gain understanding of what India is, how the work works, and how through our work we can really elevate people, not only just poverty, elevate from a lot of traps, understanding gender barriers or understanding their, how a formation of groups, social network groups can promote them, may build people into workforce. So multiple facets of that will help. So that is in a nutshell what my experience has been. Yeah.
So, but look at your journey from,
Yeah.
I guess we should now call it Guwahati, not Guwahati, but
yeah.
And then from Guwahati to Kolkata to a place which is just on the border of Tamil Nadu, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Technically in Andhra, but it is close to Tamil Nadu. So
Right.
that it's quite different, and I assume
Yeah.
like any other economist, I assume that it draws people from all over India,
Right.
right?
Aptly so.
So you have moved from a localized place to Kolkata, which is still regional, though it's dominant in the region, to a place
Yeah.
which has no big city around it or nothing really big. So it is the big town, right? It is the big thing in the place that you are in. And it has people from all over. So how do you find that experience?
That has been great. I was also for a research briefly. I lived in Patna for a while, and that was a different exposure altogether. Bihar is totally different from where I have come from, and where it doesn't resemble any of India. Everything in Bihar is can be an outlier
Yeah.
to define. So that has been also an amazing experience. I had amazing field experiences for the projects that I have worked on. Couple of projects I've worked on has been on understanding women's collective, where I have done qualitative research, and there was another project for which I was based out on Bihar that involved quantitative research. So both these, how different these two tools are, and how it can teach you so many ground lessons is something which I fundamentally learned from Bihar. A lot of things which is goes in pen and paper, which we say in a large podium to address multiple social issues, might work on pen and paper, but might not really work in a very remote town and place in urban Bihar, which is totally irrelevant, because they have to travel, say, hundreds of kilometers to go to a kirana shop, or hundreds of kilometers to go to the nearest health center. So these challenges, these issues has totally made me understand that why we choose a subject called economics, because it has a social value. We should not forget that what we are doing is for the society. It always should have a motivation of something that really adds in pen and paper, but our work should also reflect in the lives of the people that we work with, and reflect in the lives of people we are associated with. So it has been a great learning and enriching experience so far, and I'm truly blessed for everyone who has been associated with me. Yeah.
So tell us more about what you found out in Patna and Bihar.
Uh, it's interesting in Patna, so to say, is that people are really humble and sweet. I earlier had the notion that it's a very rough state. They will, they are not very open to other people residing in their locality, or other people coming to work. But that is not really true. What I have found is people are very accommodating. They are very curious to know what is happening. So I can state an example was that I went to a field visit in a very remote district in Bihar, Rohtas. The district is Rohtas, where I was part of a collective, women's collective enterprise model. So we were really hungry for a long time, because we were traveling for work, and then we had to again take a train on travel to Patna. So they really got us food for ourselves to feed our team, and that was something that was really sweet. They were really interested in knowing where do we live in Patna, can we give them access to jobs, can their partners get involved. And I have a lot of literature works around women that their partners, their decisions are based on their partners, which was true in the field as well, because when we were in the field, a lot of women were not present. So when we asked them what happened, you didn't show up, or you didn't come to the meeting, so they said their partner was not ready for, not allowed them to go to the meeting. And in addition, some also said that their partners didn't feel confident that they will be able to handle a meeting, so they wanted to the partners also wanted to accompany the woman. So that
Yeah.
has also been the case. So
Yeah.
in places like this, you really understand that the literature truly reflects the ground reality. So that has been a very interesting learning lesson. Apart from this, Bihar also has social issues like arsenic, contamination, because of the gangetic plain that it really lies, and that sedimentation of arsenic is something that affects just not the gangetic plain, but also the Bangladesh border and also Assam. So this was a study where I was involved in, and I really understood truly that how this social issue is so tied to that region and that area that the people cannot come out of it unless and until they have a choice to make their livelihoods away from Bihar. The problem exists because no matter how the depth the boring goes, the water that comes out will have arsenic to a certain degree, and not now, but in some point in time, the effect of this arsenic contamination will really show in their lives.
Yes.
So that was something which was truly an eye opener, and I have become very strict in terms of the water that I consume post that, and also make sure tell people about arsenic contamination. Even back in my hometown, also I make it a point to tell people that we should have good water, and having better access to water is always a must. So these are the things which I have truly learned from Bihar. And most importantly, I was fascinated to see the roads and connectivity. Mostly the roads and the connectivities, I had an assumption that it's not going to be safe for women. It's not going to be safe. The roads are going to be in their bad state, but that was really not true. The roads were really nice, and the highways were well built. One could commute easily, and honestly, I didn't face any issues as such with regard to safety. That was pretty much a stringent assumption on my part as well. So that was not an issue. So a lot of biases that I had on my mind were broken when I was in the field. So that was a great learning experience for me as well.
Yeah, it's nothing like a field visit to
Yeah.
shake your biases and assumptions.
Yes.
You have to
Yes.
know the ground reality. You just cannot go by anything else. Okay, that's great. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about your own future?
Uh, Honestly, at this point in my time, I want to, pursue higher studies. So I want to really look forward to have a PhD or a second master's. But PhD is something which I'm really keen on. That is because I think the experiences that I have in field and working with large data sets, and having worked with researchers myself, I believe the having a PhD will give me the solid understanding of economics, and also how that I can contribute through my work in the future. Also pretty keen to go back to school and start doing classroom. That has been a while. I have not been in the classroom, so that is something I really look forward to.
Okay.
That is my future plan. Let's see how things
Okay,
turn.
let's see how it goes. And how about some tips for juniors,
uh, I think
especially people in Assam who might be watching it?
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the most important thing to have as a young child or young should always be ready for everything. You should always be honest and ready for whatever comes your way, and have a good faith that whatever you're taught in your classroom, you can do even further. You can work hard. I'm one of the biggest example, because I come from a background where I never studied economics, and I had no clue how economics is. If someone like me can take up economics and also want to study further in economics, and not just me, there are multiple other people who change their streams in PhD also. There are folks who have studied physics or mathematics in their undergrads or postgrads. They have taken up economics for their doctorate. That is something you can always do. So the most important thing is to have faith in yourself and have believe that you can do whatever you want, and always listen to your elders, respect them, and if they are guiding you for something, that is definitely for the better, and you will always you will go miles. So that is what I would suggest.
Okay, that's very, very optimistic. view of the
Yeah.
world. Okay, great. Great.
Yeah.
Lovely to see such optimism. Anything else
Yeah.
you want to add?
Um, Additionally, what should I say? I think should work hard, and working hard and consistency are also very key for anything. I mean, sometimes I don't work hard enough for something, or I'm not being consistent, so that reflects. So I believe that more than talent, hard work and consistency are something which really impacts in the long run. Even now, if I'm studying for something or giving a test or just reading a book, so if I'm not consistent in it, I won't be mindful, I won't be able to concentrate on a certain word. So being consistent and being hardworking has more rewards, I would always say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great to see such wisdom. I hope it influences some younger people as to how to get ahead in this competitive world. And it is a competitive world. Okay, well, that's it from my side. I don't have any more things to ask you. So, shall we end it here and then maybe we catch up with you later in a year to see how you're doing, where it's
Sure.
taking you? Okay, all right.
Sure.
So, let's say bye to the viewers. I'll be
Thank you so
back
much.
with another young person or an expert soon. Till then, bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much, sir. Bye.